In 1914, Professor Packley and his student Billy explore old ruins in Egypt. While deciphering ancient inscriptions, Packley uncovers a prophecy. A powerful force, evil, appears every 5,000 years to destroy planets with life. It can only be stopped by a weapon made of water, fire, earth, air, and a perfect being, the fifth element. A priest overhears Packley's discovery and poisons the water to silence him. But Packley refuses the water and sends Billy for alcohol instead. Suddenly, a starship lands carrying robotic aliens called the Mondoshawans. The priest recognizes them and learns they're retrieving relics because Earth isn't safe anymore. As the Mondoshawans take the elemental stones and the fifth element sarcophagus, Packley faints from shock. The priest worries about Earth's safety without the protection of the elements. Billy finds a gun and triggers the security system, trapping them. The aliens hurry back to their ship, leaving one behind with a key for the priest. Despite getting stuck, the priest promises to pass on the knowledge until the aliens return. 300 years later, the prophecy unfolds as evil approaches Earth. President Lindbergh orders a military spaceship to attack, but the priest warns against it. Lindbergh ignores him and commands the soldiers to fire, but evil absorbs the missiles effortlessly. It then uses its power to harm the soldiers, proving unstoppable. Soon, the Mondoshawans set out for Earth, aiming to stop evil with a super weapon. However, they're ambushed by rogue aliens, the Mangalores, who destroy their ship and steal the box containing the elemental stones. The Mangalores then contacts Zorg, a human allied with evil, agreeing to meet later to exchange the stones for payment. Meanwhile, in the city, former soldier Korben bids farewell to his cat and steps out of his apartment only to encounter a thief wielding a unique weapon. Korben tricks the thief by pretending the weapon isn't loaded and pulls out his own gun, scaring the thief away. He then heads off in his cab to begin his shift as a driver. Later, a group of soldiers recovers a hand from the wreckage of the Mondoshawan's ship. Government scientists use a machine to reconstruct its DNA, revealing similarities to humans. The machine generates a beautiful woman whom the scientists and soldiers admire, calling her perfect. After dressing her, the machine attempts to take her photo, awakening her with its noise. The woman panics, speaking an unfamiliar language as she tries to escape the capsule without success. When a general approaches and provokes her, she becomes furious and punches the glass, knocking out the general in the process. As alarms blare, the woman smashes through a wall to escape, finding herself in the ventilation system. She navigates through it until she reaches the top of the building, where she's surrounded by police. Feeling trapped, she leaps off the building and lands inside Korben's cab. Korben, captivated by her beauty, tries to communicate with her but struggles to understand. Surrounded by police, the woman reads a sign pleading for help. Initially hesitant, Korben's heart softens when she cries and he decides to help her. As they speed away, chased by police, Korben expertly maneuvers through the city, causing a police car to crash into a delivery truck. Evading gunfire, Korben drives into thick fog to evade detection. The woman, feeling unwell, mutters "priest" before passing out. Korben seeks help and ends up at Vito's apartment. Recognizing the woman as the fifth element, Vito and his assistant, David, search for ceremonial robes. Meanwhile, Korben tries to awaken the woman with a gentle kiss, but she reacts defensively, taking his weapon. After introductions, they shorten her long name to Leeloo. Vito returns with the tune key and Leeloo begins to eat and study history on Vito's computer. She also learns the local language and martial arts. Vito communicates with Leeloo, discovering she knows the location of the elemental stones. Meanwhile, the Mangalores meet with Zorg, who exposes their leader, Aknot, masquerading as a human. Aknot hands over the box to Zorg, expecting payment. Instead, Zorg tricks them with dummy technology and weapons. When Zorg opens the box, it's empty. Enraged, Zorg attempts to annul their deal, but Aknot reminds him they provided the requested box, not its contents. Pretending to let it slide, Zorg departs, knowing what awaits the Mangalore. Unaware, they trigger an explosive in the weapon, bringing them down. Back with Vito, Leeloo reveals the Mondoshawans entrusted the stones to someone trustworthy, whom she's meant to contact using a map on the computer. They discover the person is a famous singer performing at Floss in Paradise, a luxury resort liner. A knock interrupts them, revealing Zorg's henchmen who dragged Vito to meet their boss. Zorg demands the stone's location, but Vito refuses. Zorg explains his belief in chaos driving progress, showcasing his gadgets. However, he chokes on a cherry, realizing his gadgets are useless against such a small obstruction. Vito helps him, highlighting the futility of power if vulnerable to such trivialities. Moved by this, Zorg spares Vito. Meanwhile, a henchman spies on a presidential meeting, discovering the singer possesses the stones. Lindbergh directs his men to recruit the best agent for the task, who happens to be Korben. Before Zorg can intercept more information, Lindbergh spots the bug and destroys it. Meanwhile, Korben enjoys dinner from a flying street vendor when he receives a message informing him of his termination. Confused, he then receives a call from his mother about winning a contest he never entered. Another message clarifies, offering him 2 tickets to Floston Paradise. 3 soldiers explain the government's manipulation, urging Korben to retrieve the stones from the singer undercover. Reluctant, Korben hesitates, but before he can refuse, Vito and Leeloo arrive in a panic. Korben hides the soldiers in his refrigerator, allowing Vito and Leeloo inside. Vito confronts Korben, demanding the tickets to retrieve the stones. As the apartment alarm sounds, signaling police presence, Korben conceals Leeloo and Vito, then pretends to be innocent when the police arrive. They mistake a neighbor for Korben, leading to his arrest. However, the Mangalore ambush the police, seizing the body bag containing the neighbor. Once the coast is clear, Korben releases Leeloo and Vito from hiding. However, Vito knocks him out and steals the tickets, leaving Korben with the soldiers. Upon awakening, Korben finds Vito and Leeloo gone, but he discovers the mission letter in the fridge agreeing to cooperate. At the airport, David poses as Korben with fake passports, accompanied by Leeloo as his wife. When Korben arrives, he claims David as his assistant to avoid suspicion from the clerk. Korben and Leeloo are permitted to board the spacecraft while David rushes back to Vito, who gives him the key and instructs him to prepare the temple. Meanwhile, Vito pursues Leeloo. 2 Mangalore arrive in human guise, attempting to impersonate Korben and Leeloo. However, the clerk detects their ruse on the computer and sends them away. Zorg's henchman also tries to pass as Korben, but the clerk realizes the real Korben has already boarded and activates security measures. The henchman flees and contacts Zorg, who, disappointed by the failure, detonates the payphone, killing the man. Concurrently, the ship takes off, allowing Vito to sneak aboard unnoticed. Leeloo heads to their pod, but Korben is intercepted by a flight attendant who takes him to meet Ruby, a famous host. Ruby insists Korben participate in his show, but is met with terse responses. Irritated, Ruby is pushed against the wall by Korben, who demands to be left alone. Afterwards, Korben joins Leeloo in their pod, where he discovers she can now speak some English. However, they are soon put to sleep by flight attendants for the journey. Meanwhile, Zorg receives a call from Evil, reminding him to obtain the stones promptly or face consequences. Evil's voice alone causes Zorg's head to bleed as a warning. Hours later, the spaceship arrives at planet Flan, where Vito is discovered hiding in the ventilation system. Korben checks their hotel room while Leeloo remains hidden in the hallway, observing the arrival of the singer. Da senses Leeloo's presence and sends her assistant to arrange a meeting after the concert. Later, Ruby takes Korben to Da's concert, which moves many to tears with her beautiful singing. Meanwhile, Zorg arrives at the hotel, and the Mangalore break into Da's room in search of the stones. Leeloo witnesses this and rushes into Da's room, engaging the Mangalore in combat, using the martial arts moves she learned from Vito's computer. One by one, Leeloo defeats the aliens, proving her prowess as the 5th element. Leeloo retrieves the box the aliens were after, but encounters Zorg blocking her escape route. Terrified of his high-tech gun, Leeloo throws the box at him before hiding in the vents. Zorg opens fire, injuring Leeloo, and assumes she's dying. He sets a bomb to detonate in 20 minutes before leaving. Meanwhile, more Mangalore arrive at the hotel, taking hostages and disrupting the concert with gunfire. Amidst the chaos, Diva falls from the stage and Korben rushes to her aid. With her last breath, Diva urges Korben to save humanity and reveals that the stones are hidden inside her. Back at the hotel, Zorg discovers the empty box and returns. A Mangalore attacks Korben, but he swiftly incapacitates it and instructs Ruby to keep it at gunpoint. Korben retrieves the stones from Diva's body and gives them to Ruby for safekeeping. As more Mangalore enter the theater, Korben fights back with a gun while Ruby escapes to a balcony. Korben manages to kill several Mangalore, but they retaliate with powerful missiles, forcing him to seek cover. Despite threats, Korben surrenders, but he signals Ruby to move, creating a distraction. Korben uses a plank to knock down an alien, causing chaos as it accidentally harms its own kind. With an opportunity, Korben grabs another gun and eliminates the remaining enemies. However, more Mangalore arrive, prompting Korben to create a diversion with gunfire, causing Ruby's silhouette to fall. Korben then throws a grenade through the resulting hole, eliminating the incoming aliens. With the coast clear, Korben and Ruby rush to the control room, where they find more Mangalore holding hostages, including Vito. A fight ensues, and as the humans gain the upper hand, Aknot requests a human negotiator. Korben volunteers, only to shoot Aknot in the head upon seeing him. After checking the security footage and spotting Leeloo's hand hanging from the vents, Korben rushes to save her, with Vito and Ruby following closely behind. They discover the bomb and activate the alarms, prompting the evacuation of the guests. Meanwhile, Korben's team heads to the docks, just missing Zorg's return by seconds. They steal Zorg's ship to make their escape. Zorg returns to the room and deactivates the bomb, only to find another explosive left behind by the dying Mangalore. Ott's right hand triggers the bomb, destroying the hotel and killing Zorg. Fortunately, Korben's team escapes before the explosion reaches them. However, evil senses the disturbance and accelerates its journey towards Earth. Lindbergh's scientists detect evil's approach and inform Korben, giving them only 2 hours to save the world. During the journey, Leeloo wakes up and continues studying human history, learning about their violent nature through numerous wars. Arriving in Egypt, David leads them to the temple. Leeloo, still injured, passes out again before explaining what to do. They realize the symbols on the stones match the pillars, so they place each stone in its corresponding spot. However, nothing happens until David accidentally breathes on the air stone, activating it. Realizing each stone needs its element, they apply sweat to the water stone, dirt to the earth stone, and ignite a match on the fire stone. With all the stones glowing, Korben wakes up Leeloo, who expresses reluctance to save humanity due to their destructive nature. Korben assures her that some things like love are worth saving. Moved by his words, Leeloo admits she has never known love. Korben kisses her, prompting the fifth element to awaken. Together with the stones, they activate the ultimate weapon, destroying evil as it approaches Earth. Later, government scientists place Korben and Leeloo in a DNA pod to heal their wounds. Lindbergh expresses gratitude for their efforts, but a scientist requests he wait. It turns out Korben and Leeloo are awake and engaging in intimate activities inside the pod. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.